Hello gamers, the patch notes for update 37 are out, which means that the ESO public test server is up. So I wanted to log in and take a first look at some of the quality of life features and collectibles that we'll be able to get in update 37. If you're looking for a comprehensive rundown of the new sets or dungeons, I'm afraid you won't find that here. I'll redirect you to my favorite patch note enjoyers and ESO combat experts. But if you were looking to be informed about the real endgame stuff like housing and fashion and not that cringe PvE and PvP shit, then you've come to the right place. With that being said, let's jump right in. If you caught the ESO live stream that essentially showcased the new dungeons and features outlined in the patch notes, then you can probably attest to the fact that the Twitch chat's demeanor remained the way it usually is. Absolutely unhinged. But among all of the arguing and the
fix PvP dead game LMAO
chants, a wave of agreement and excitement fell upon the chat when the hide shoulders feature was revealed. Finally, something we can all get behind. As it stands, there's no means to hide your shoulder motif in the game, the way you can hide your helmet. A lot of players have been wanting a hide shoulders option, for many of them find that a lot of these shoulder motifs do not complement their outfits very well, and they wish they could just not wear any altogether. A lot of shoulder motifs tend to float atop your character's shoulders or clip into their chest armor, so the fact that this feature is being implemented in the future is great news to all the fashion enjoyers out there. It seems as if you'll be able to hide your shoulder motif via the Outfit Styles tab in the Collections menu in the future. Reading the text for this feature implies that this will not be some kind of universal feature that is implemented straight away, but rather something that is acquired through a purchase, promotion, or event. I'm curious as to how exactly we'll be able to earn this feature. A handful of new furnishings will be added to the game in the future. You can receive the Dark Elf Archway Stone and the Craiglorn Podium filled furnishings from the Undaunted Quartermaster upon completing the 2 new dungeons on any difficulty. A couple of changes are being implemented to the ways in which we can receive some of the old Master Writ furnishing plans, as per usual. And a handful of new furnishing plans have been added to Rollis Hlaalu's inventory. I'll have a more comprehensive discussion on this matter in my regular quarterly gold guide, as I just wanted to quickly showcase the new items in this video. They also added this really sweet item called the Chronometer of the Tribunal to Rollis's inventory. If you missed out on collecting the Sacred Hourglass of Alkosh furnishing from the Impresario, which allows you to change the time of day in your home, you'll be able to buy this Dunmeri-themed furnishing that allows you to accomplish the same thing. This item costs 1,000 writ vouchers though, so now's the time to finally complete all those master writs that have been sitting in your bank. There was no mention of these furnishing plans in the patch notes, but they were available to be previewed on the PTS. A handful of Galen-themed structural furnishing plans are on the PTS, which would imply that we will likely be able to receive these from completing Galen dailies, as opposed to the reused High Isle structural furnishing plans that are rewarded from these same dailies on the live server at this moment. When exactly will we be able to get these new furnishing plans from the Galen daily rewards? Who knows, but be sure to keep your eyes on the patch notes for future updates. Although there was no mention of motifs anywhere in the patch notes, the Necropolis Steward and the Scribes of Mora styles were available to be previewed on the PTS. Huh, deja vu. These motifs will likely be dropping from the Update 37 dungeons in quite a few months, given ZOS's tendency to have dungeon motifs drop after a significant amount of time has passed since the release of the dungeons in question. In this case, the Necropolis Steward style motifs will be able to drop from the Balsanar dungeon, and the Scribes of Mora style motifs will drop from the Scrivener's Hall dungeon. I just wanted to quickly showcase these motifs in this video, especially the Hermaeus Mora drip, as I can only imagine how expensive these motifs will be. For a more in-depth preview of these styles, be sure to subscribe to Tianlein and be on the lookout for her frequent motif showcase videos. I'd like to briefly showcase a handful of new collectibles that will come with the new DLC, as well as one that will be part of the base game. Roleplayers rejoice! The Sailor Sextant emote can be obtained by completing the Fates Secret achievement. This achievement can be earned upon completing all of the optional content in Balsanar and Scrivener's Hall, the 2 new dungeons. The Lost in the Woods emote can be obtained by completing the Scribes of Fate Scout achievement, meaning you'll have to complete both of the new dungeons on the normal difficulty. A couple of new mementos will be added as well. You can get the Iterative Onyx Glyphic by completing the Scrivener's Hall dungeon on the Veteran difficulty, and subsequently receiving the Scrivener's Hall Conqueror achievement. You can receive the Unstable Emerald Glyphic from completing the Eye of Fate quest, which is the prologue quest for Necrum that can be attained and completed for free. All you'll have to do is obtain the free Crown Store quest item, a letter from Laramel the Wise, to begin your journey. The Taskmaster's banner skin can be obtained by completing the Balsanar Conqueror achievement, which is just a vet clear. I think it's pretty neat that we'll be getting another skin from completing a dungeon. I feel like it's been a while since this has been the case. You'll be able to purchase a new collectible from the War Researcher with 40 Arena Gladiator proofs, which are collected upon turning in daily conquests in Cyrodiil. This collectible comes in the form of a face marking that is specific to your character's alliance. I think these face markings look pretty nice, but 40 arena proofs is quite the steep price to pay. The Scrivener's Ultramarine die can be obtained by completing the Scribes of Fate Delver achievement, meaning you'll have to complete both of the new dungeons on the Veteran difficulty. And lastly, a new tool is being added. The new tool isn't explained well in the patch notes, but from taking a look at the dungeon achievements in-game, we can observe that there's an achievement titled Missing Map Recovered, which can be completed upon locating and digging up Scrivener's treasure in the Rift, whatever that means. Upon doing so, we will receive the Cartoclep map, whatever that is. I look forward to finding out. Have you ever been trying to ERP with your e-girlfriend in your home and then some rando from your friends list swings by your crib and catches you in the act, and then instead of leaving like any rational, sane person would, they decide to stay and watch instead? No, just me? Well, whatever the case may be, if you ever have an unwanted guest in your home now, you have the ability to remove them from it. Your home's current occupants will now be listed in the settings menu of the housing editor, and you'll be able to kick occupants from your home via this menu going forward. All of your home's occupants will also receive a message whenever someone leaves or enters the home. Some additional features that are coming to the housing system in ESO include the following: additional filters to the placement and retrieval tabs of the housing editor, which I'll show on the screen. If you are in combat with at least one training dummy, the Show Housing panel keybind, which is F5 by default, will now reset the training dummy for you. However, it seems to still take a bit of time for the dummy to actually reset upon hitting F5, seeing as you are still in combat. Still, this is certainly more efficient than navigating the housing menu in order to do this. Moreover, you will now be able to use this function to reset combat dummies when you're at someone else's home, which was a feature that was previously unavailable. When placing your reticle over a furnishing while in the housing editor, you can now see the name of the furnishing itself, and this can be done while at someone else's home as well. And there are a few more features which I'll throw up on the screen now. All in all, these new improvements definitely add some much needed quality of life improvements to the housing system in the game. Lastly, I wanted to touch on some of the changes that are coming to the rewards for the worthy sets, because they pertain to a gold earning strategy, and we love those here. A lot of players didn't catch this last time, but the Plaguebreak, Hrothgar, and Dark Convergence sets were removed from the rewards for the worthy coffers a while back. Instead, you had to attain this gear by purchasing their unique gear coffers from the gear vendors at the Alliance Gates of Cyrodiil. Well, now the Rallying Cry, Hue and Sunder, and Enervating Aura sets are going to receive the same treatment in Update 37, in order to accommodate the addition of the new rewards for the worthy sets that are being implemented next patch. These sets will likely no longer be dropping from your PvP reward coffers, and instead will only be obtainable via these RNG coffers for 30k AP a pop. We observed some substantial price increases in sought-after sets like Plaguebreak after these changes were implemented, so we can assume that the same thing will happen once Rallying Cry gets removed from the rewards for the worthy, so long as this set remains viable. So stock up on those RC ice staves, yeah? There'll be plenty of gold making opportunities from this change, I'm sure. For more PTS updates and first looks, I highly recommend following Eden Prime on Twitter, where she frequently showcases new items as they debut on the PTS. And you can expect a much more thorough breakdown of some of the gold making opportunities that pertain to this DLC and update in the near future from yours truly here on this channel. But that's all for now. What do you think about the new features and items that will come from this DLC? I'm super eager to get that tribunal furnishing that allows me to change the time of day in my house, because I never got my hands on that hourglass furnishing. And I think that the new skin looks pretty nice. I look forward to collecting it. Alright, thanks for watching, gamers, and thank you to my YouTube members for the additional support. I will see you in the next video. Cheers!